Hello, my name's Tim Fitchett, and I'm here on behalf of Fairshake Environmental Legal Services. We are here today to talk about Finley et al. Versus USX Company. This is a class action lawsuit brought around the Edgar Thompson plant that's owned by US Steel in Braddock, Pennsylvania. You may be watching this because you received a mailer that indicated that you were a part of the class. Now, a class action lawsuit is brought by one or two plaintiffs on behalf of a class of people. In this case, it is everybody within 1 mile of the Edgar Thompson plant. They have indicated that everybody in that area has suffered some nuisances, some trespasses, and injuries due to the functioning of the Edgar Thompson plant. Now, Fairshake is in no way involved in this lawsuit. We have simply been getting some indications from the public and some partners of ours that there is some need for education and some confusion in the community about what this lawsuit means. So that's why we're putting out this video. So who can receive a settlement award is anybody who's within that 1 mile radius of the plant. Doing some quick math on Google Maps, it appears to be most of Braddock, some of North Braddock, most of East Pittsburgh, a small portion of West Mifflin near the Monongahela, and a small part of Duquesne that's closest to the plant. So if you're within that area, that means that you are potentially a part of this class. If you are just outside that area, if you're not quite sure and you want to be a part or you want to protect your rights, then you can opt out or opt in. And if you are not a part of the class, they will let you know that. The settlement itself is about $6.1 million in total. 4.6 of that is going to be going towards upgrades at the Edgar Thompson plant. Given that a lot of the injuries that were claimed were involving the dust from this factory, the company has agreed to pave one of its internal roads. It's also going to install two wheel wash stations to reduce the amount of dust that's being taken out of the factory grounds. And they're going to purchase two street sweepers that will clean up inside of the plant as well as some of the roads just outside of the plant, all to reduce the dust. Beyond that, they're also offering $1.5 million in cash. Now, that $1.5 million is also going to go towards attorney's fees. The attorneys in this case have been preliminarily approved to ask for upwards of $675,000. Assuming that they asked for all of that, the total amount that would go to the households in the area would be about $825,000. Doing some quick math on the census information of that area, it looks to be about 4,500 households in the class area. So if every single family, every household were to opt in, then the total amount awarded to each household would be somewhere in the $180 to $200 range. So what does it actually mean to what are your options and what does it actually mean to you? So there are essentially three options going forward. The first is that you opt in to the settlement. By March 31st, you can send in a lawsuit claim form that you can find online. We'll have some links to it in the video description. And you'll need a copy of your driver's license or an ID card and some proof of residence, either a deed or a rental agreement. And you need to have that mailed and postmarked by March 31st, 2025, in order to opt in to the settlement. Opting in will mean that you will get your portion of the settlement monies, but it will also mean that you are giving up your right to individually sue US Steel for any damages, property damage, discomfort, irritation, inconvenience, diminution in value of property. You'll be saying, okay, I agree, I cannot sue US Steel for any of those things. You would also be agreeing that you cannot bring any suit for future damages for at least 2 years, right? So you would be releasing any claims that have already accrued And you'd also be saying, and I also agree, I will not sue for any future damages for at least 2 years. So if you opt in, you can get your check. You will be giving up those rights. Option number two is to opt out of the settlement. If you opt out of the settlement, you will not be giving up those rights, and you would be still able to sue U.S. Steel in your individual capacity. However, doing so is a long and expensive prospect. You would need private representation. You would need to hire experts on your own, and you would be litigating against U.S. Steel. If you want to opt out, you need to do that by March 17th, 2025. That is at this point next Monday. You have to have everything postmarked to the law firm that has brought this case. It's Little Sheets and Coulson. And we have created a request for exclusion that you can find again in the link to this video. Option number three is that you do nothing. If you don't file either an opt-out or an opt-in form by March 31st, well, if you don't file the opt-out settlement of the settlement by March 17th or opt into the settlement by March 31st, you will simply still be a part of the class. You would still give up the right to sue U.S. Steel on your own for all these past damages that may or may not have accrued, but you would not get any of the settlement money. So it's really in your best interest to do one or the other. Either opt into the settlement so you at least get some money, and you don't just give up your rights for nothing, or opt out so that you retain your rights, but recognizing that you're not going to get that paycheck. So those are essentially your options. You need to act somewhat quickly in order to do these things, and so that's why we're putting out this video. Again, Fairshake is in no way involved in this lawsuit. We have simply put this together for educational purposes for the community.